Sometimes, life drains us so deeply that we begin to forget who we are. Every day we try to please others, prove ourselves, and survive the noise. Until one day, we realize we've gone too far away from our own soul. But here's the truth. If you don't take time to understand yourself, the world never will. At first, when you start focusing on yourself, the world laughs. They'll call you selfish, distant, or even strange. But the same world that mocks you will one day call you an example of transformation. Because every great change begins within. Have you ever watched a tree grow? Its roots go deep into the unseen darkness. No one notices them. But one day, that same tree stands tall, giving shade to the whole world. Your self-focus is like those roots. In the beginning, no one sees it. But slowly, everyone will feel your strength. There was once a young man in a small village. Everyone called him a failure. He had no respect, no recognition, nothing to his name. One night, as the stars watched silently above, he made a decision. He would no longer prove himself to anyone except himself. He changed his habits, his thoughts, his entire life, and years later, the same people who once mocked him said, "Look at him, learn from him." The world only sees results, but the real victory happens long before that, when you finally win the battle within yourself. Every night, before you sleep, ask yourself one question. What did I do for myself today? That single habit will transform you more than any advice ever could. In the beginning, you'll feel lonely. People will whisper, "You've changed." And they're right, because your loneliness is no longer your weakness. It's your training ground. You no longer need applause because your confidence has become your true identity. Be like the lamp in a temple, burning silently in the dark, illuminating everything around it, even as it burns itself. That's what self-awareness is, to light the world by first lighting yourself. A monk once said, "When you stop chasing the world starts following you. So start small. Spend 10 minutes every day just watching your thoughts. Which thoughts make you stronger? Which ones drain your energy? Write them down and let go of one negative thought every single day. That's the first step toward enlightenment." Once a man came to Buddha and said, "Master, no one in my house listens to me. Everyone disrespects me." Buddha looked deep into his eyes and asked softly, "Do you listen to yourself?" The man fell silent. Buddha smiled. "When you don't hear your own soul, how can you expect others to?" From that day, the man began meditating. Slowly, his anger faded. Peace appeared on his face, and the same people who once ignored him now came to him for guidance. That's how the universe works. The outer world mirrors your inner world. If your mind is calm, the world treats you with peace. If your heart is chaotic, the world reflects chaos. Like a muddy lake, when the water is disturbed, you can't see anything. But when the water becomes still, everything becomes clear. That's what happens when you focus inward. Clarity arises. Self-focus is not selfishness. It's self-respect. Remember, Buddha didn't run away from the world. He sat beneath the Bodhi tree, silently, until the entire universe bowed before his peace. Because when you conquer your mind, the world becomes your reflection. Imagine, every day, you grow just a little better than yesterday, not competing with anyone, just evolving quietly. Months later, the same people who once ignored you will whisper, "He's different now. Something's changed." That's not pride. That's awakening. When your energy changes, your destiny changes. When your focus shifts inward, your outer world begins to heal. Because the world doesn't respond to your words, it responds to your vibration. And when your soul vibrates in peace, everything around you finds its balance. Buddha once said, "The one who conquers himself needs no victory over others." So the next time your heart races with jealousy, anger, or fear, pause, breathe, and whisper to yourself, I am returning home to myself. That's where the true journey begins. That's where Buddha's path truly starts. Not in temples, not in scriptures, but in that quiet moment when you finally start listening to yourself. Because the day you focus inward is the day the world starts to understand you. So today, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do just for me? Meditation, silence, or an honest conversation with your own heart? Write it down in the comments. I'm starting my journey within. And remember, when you master your inner world, no outer storm can destroy your peace. You are not just changing yourself. You are changing the energy of the entire world. If this story touched you, share it with someone who's forgotten their own light. Because sometimes one spark of awareness can ignite 1,000 sleeping souls.